ज्ञानाञ्जना शालकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity to come in front of you to say a few words about Srimad Bhagavatam. First and foremost, congratulations to all of you. As a part of the Srimad Bhagavatam study group, you have completed the first canto and the second canto reading. This itself is a kind of an accomplishment if you take in the right attitude, because Srimad Bhagavatam first and second cantos, as the contemporary ISKCON Acharyas tell, contains everything. Srila Prabhupada has invested a lot of his energy into the purports of the first and second canto, probably because he was not sure how long he's going to live. So that's reason why in ISKCON, in many places, even for some mandatory initiations, first initiation, second initiation, they say that devotees must complete reading of the first and second cantos. So I really appreciate your perseverance in this matter. Reading Srila Prabhupada's purports, translations, accompanied with the actual shloka is a wonderful thing. So once again, congratulations to all of you. And Srimad Bhagavatam, when acharyas have described, actually, some of the scriptural references say that different parts of the body or parts of the body of the Lord are associated with the cantos. The first two cantos are known to be reference to connected to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personal of the Godhead. And the canto 3 is connected with the thighs of the Supreme Personal of the Godhead. And as we go along, the 10th canto is supposed to be the face of the Lord. So in that context, there's a gradual journey that we are going to see to ultimately feel the presence and experience the greatness of the Supreme Personality of the Lord, not only the greatness, but the sweetness also. So today we will start the third canto, seeking the blessings of all the acharyas and the founder acharya of ISKCON, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So after seeking their blessings, we will today take a very quick snapshot of the third canto. First, I'll try to give a small intro, and then I think I'll share the screen. Even though initially, when Subal Prabhu asked, "Do you want to share the screen?" I said no, but I thought I will share the screen to walk you through that thing. This basically is a material that I got it primarily from ChatGPT and some from Gaurang Darshan Prabhu Subodhini, and I put some uh, context to the whole notes. So after this session, I'll also share these notes so that you can preserve this. So before remembering any canto, or when we think about any canto, there are many ways of remembering it. It's good. It's always a good practice to remember something significant as a canto of Srimad Bhagavatam with certain elements, right? And each one of us may have our own styles of remembering, but a general best practice style or standard, if you have to think about that, is like we can remember who are the people who come in that canto, who are the great personalities who appear. Imagine that third canto is like a big drama or a dance ballet that we are going to witness for several months, or even it may go to an year or so. Uh, because it's a pretty big canto. So, who are all the characters, who are all the personalities that will come on stage? So, that way also reinforces our understanding of the things and how the canto starts. So, what is the connection between the previous canto to this? And then once you think of that, that is the third canto is playing in front of you in a very grand ballet. After we get to know who are all the personalities that come into play, or what role they're going to play, after you understand what are the places that come into play into this whole understanding of this reading of the third canto, right? In that ballet, what are the places that come into the play? And then, uh, are there any incarnations that are getting into this canto? Because from third canto onwards, we start seeing the descriptions of incarnation. Which is that incarnation that is coming? Or and sometimes two incarnations, three incarnations, whatever. And what are those incarnations, and what where do they come? What do they do? In this third canto is an interesting element. And third is, what are the main topics? If you have to remember the content of third canto from a philosophical angle, what are the main topics that are talked about not only in Srimad Bhagavatam by various other acharyas, previous acharyas, the contemporary acharyas. And also, Srimad Bhagavatam, as you all know, the way it is delivered to us, that's the way in the documented form that's available to us, starts with a very great association of Suta Goswami in the Naimisharanya forest with Shaunaka and other rishis. And they ask six foundational questions. And the narration starts from those foundational questions. So, what are those questions that are getting covered here? Are there any of those getting covered here or not? That's a discussion. That's a thought process that we can have in the background. And in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam also, we get to know the 10 main topics of Bhagavatam. Atra, Sarga, Visarga, Poshanam, all those things ultimately leading to surrender. Those 10 topics. We'll try to cover that in the end of today. The six questions and 10 topics. Are they coming? What are those things that are dominantly coming in this canto? So in that way, we can enrich ourselves as we go along the journey of the third canto. I'll again repeat: people, places, and what are those people, and who are they, and what are they talking about? Any incarnations are coming? Purpose of those incarnations, main topics in the canto, and how it connects with the previous canto, and map with six questions and 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, if possible. So when we look at a canto in this format, it is interesting. Okay, so if you go by with these guidelines, so when we start the third canto, uh, who are all the great people that come? Of course, Shukadev Goswami has to come anyway. He's narrating Srimad Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj also has to come because he's listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. And actually, third canto starts with Parikshit Maharaj specifically inquiring that he wants to listen to some conversation between Uddhava and Maitreya. No, sorry, Vidura and Maitreya. Sorry, Vidura and Maitreya. And then another personality, great personality comes, Uddhava. So Uddhava, Maitreya, Vidura, and Parikshit. Parikshit comes in the beginning are the main personalities. And majority of the third canto till the end, actually, of the fourth canto, this Vidura Maitreya Sambhashana is very interesting, and it has got a lot of philosophical content. And probably that's the reason why Parikshit is keen to know what is that happened there. So, from a places perspective, we get a glimpse of Hastinapura because it has got a connection of what happened to Vidura and Vidura's pilgrimage, and then the disappearance place of Sri Krishna. That happens between Prabhasa Kshetra, it's between Dwaraka and the Somnath Mandir, more nearer to Somnath. And Badrikashram, the mention of Badrikashram also is there, Badrinath. So from a places perspective, these come people perspective, Parikshit Maharaj, Vidura, Maitreya, Uddhava, and of course Sri Krishna, mention of Sri Krishna also comes there. These are the people and places. And the main topics, the many main topics are there, which we will cover. So interestingly, another way of remembering this canto, it even though it starts with a good inquisitive question of Parikshit Maharaj, where he wants to know the conversation, what is the conversation that happened between Maitreya and Vidura, and the whole thing is goes on in the layers of conversation between them, but it very quickly moves into a very sober situation, very grave situation, and it leapfrogs from third canto to almost 11th canto. And in what we actually see in a lot of details in 11th canto are picturized here. Sometimes it happens even in dramas and movies also, right? Some people or some situation is there and suddenly there's a big leapfrog, either front side or in the back, by the back thing also. Uh, so in that way, it exactly goes like that. Here it leapfrogs. It places us into a situation or circumstances when Krishna is going to depart from the material world, and Uddhava, after coming to know that what happened to Uddhava, how he felt about it, and what were the final instructions of Krishna in brief that Uddhava could capture, and then Vidura meeting him, and Vidura also knowing that Krishna has left the uh, planet. So basically, we were taken to the end of Srimad Bhagavatam, almost till the end of Srimad Bhagavatam, that Krishna has not even come. Krishna, actual Supreme Personality of the Krishna comes in the 10th canto, but here they bring Krishna in and they take Krishna into the end. What could have happened? In same similar way, in first and second cantos also we see, particularly in the first canto, Krishna comes, Kunti Stuti, Bhishma Stuti, Krishna leaves to Dwaraka. But here the conversation starts from the point where Krishna is, the departure moment. So in that way, it's a bit a very sober moment for all the readers who come to start Canto 3. Oh my God, this is going to happen. This is what I'm going to see as I traverse through the epic scripture called Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is known as a literal incarnation of the Lord. So this is what it is there. So in that context, it's a very interesting in terms of people, in terms of philosophical discussions that happen, and it goes to the front. From front it goes to the end, and it again comes back and starts the narration. And another thing about this canto, it is quite philosophy driven canto. We don't get too many stories because it's a conversation happening between two people who are very deeply rooted into philosophy. So it's not a canto where you have stories. It's a canto which is having very solid grounding on philosophical aspects. So we need to know this because we can mentally make ourselves tuned to that frequency that we are going to see a deep conversations about philosophy. Okay, particularly in the last phase of the third canto, where the instructions of Kapila Dev to his mother Devahuti comes. So from an incarnation point of view, Varaha incarnation is coming here. And also Kapila Dev is also an incarnation of the Lord comes. So there are two incarnations come and different personalities come. So in terms of the other personalities, of course, Kapila Dev comes, Devahuti comes, Kardamamani comes, Diti, Aditi also come, Varaha, of course, as an incarnation of the Lord comes. Uh, and Bor, the incarnation, Hiranyaksha and Bor incarnation comes. And if you see the third canto, the seventh canto, when it starts with Hiranyakashipu story, it again links back to the third and how Bor incarnation has killed Hiranyakshu, and then that's why Hiranyakashipu gets very angry and so on and so forth. It's pretty interesting. So these are the two connections. So the core message that I wanted to try to convey is that when we remember a canto, we have to remember different aspects of it. It is exactly the same way when we remember about a place, right? We remember about a place, we may talk about its beauty, the people that live, the culture of the people, the places that are interesting in that place, the idiosyncrasies of the place, the food that is offered there, how is it, what people talk, what people like, what people don't like. Same way, cantos also can be remembered like this, so that our interest in that canto increases and our mind gets tuned to that. So, as I told, that this canto is a more a philosophical oriented canto. We get a lot of details, and sometimes because of that, this canto can also be. It's like in cricket they say, right, bouncer, सर के ऊपर चले जाता है. So some of the things that we keep reading, it goes above our head. So either we can pause there and reread it or move forward, and later we can come back to read to it there. Even the very proficient uh, scholars, devotees who are very rich in their knowledge also do that. So recently we had a very renowned devotee and a scholar who has authored many books by name Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. We had an opportunity to serve him. Subal Prabhu and his family also came here to meet him. He was telling in one of the small informal sessions that we had is that when he was reading Srimad Bhagavatam in 10th canto, 87th chapter, that is Vedas personified as glorifying Krishna. So Prabhu said that he didn't understand it at all. He read it halfway through or some quarter and it went above his head. So he moved ahead into the other cantos, again came back, again read something, again it went out of his head. Again he moved forward and again he came back. So there could be some moments of life here in third canto. You may also feel that, particularly since you're meeting only once in a week and reading this. This happens particularly at the end of third canto, that is Kapila's instruction to Devati. It's very detailed, very technical. In the very beginning, three-fourths of it is very technical. We may feel that monotony. So when we structure how many shlokas to be covered, what to be covered, I request Subal Prabhu to keep that in mind because we have a Telugu satsang every Saturday. So a couple of years back, we had this also Kapila's instructions thing going on, and it went on for years, 2.5 years, I think. So many times we always used to think that, oh my God, still Kapila Dev, still Kapila Dev. The monotony was there. When will it end? When will it end? So based on that experience, I'm telling, but their instructions are very valid. But if you take it into summarized form, it talks about the material aspects of the creation and so many more details. Yeah. So this is how so be prepared to take on to the flight of third canto, which is going to be enjoyable if you want it to be, if you want to gain philosophical knowledge. Okay. I'll pause here. Any question? Then I'll start sharing my screen.
So, Prabhu, thank you. So, Prabhu, if I understand correctly, you are saying we should try and move it a bit, little bit fast, right?
First, and also concentrate on the key points.
Points.
And
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Particularly when you come to Kapila's thing for the first three-fourths of the Kapila's instructions, and then the last phase is on bhakti. So that's where is most important.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. This is my personal thing, Prabhu. You can do it according to the quorum and the liking of the audience here. But this is my personal thing.
Okay.
So this is a note that I captured, and I will also send it to you. Please let me know that you're able to see this thing.
Yes, we can see, Prabhu.
Okay, 1 second, Prabhu. Let me adjust my thing, my screen, so that I will. So if you have any doubt in the between, you kindly pause me. I'll spend this next probably an hour or so on this aspect. So Srimad Bhagavatam, the Canto 3 is called Status Quo. So Vidura's quest for spiritual knowledge. So as I told, this thing is about knowledge. Knowledge is a very underlying topic of this. So Vidura, as we all know from Mahabharata, is a very great personality. Vidura Niti is very famous, in particularly in our native language, mother tongue. When we were young, we were being taught in school Vidura Nitis. So they're very so popular. Of course, nowadays it's not allowed to take up those topics in schools. Vidura Nitis are very famous. Vidura was a great personality, good devotee of the Lord, very educated, was trying to serve and trying to steer the Dhritarashtra and his family from the path of adharma to dharma. But somehow, in the end, he has to give up because he was disrespected and disillusioned. He was insulted also at one point in time. So he was disillusioned and he with royal politics. So he embarks on a long pilgrimage for seeking spiritual enlightenment. So pilgrimage is a thing that a lot of people used to do for spiritual enlightenment, sometimes the atonement also. So then you have in the first five chapters the conversation with Uddhava and Maitreya. Vidura engages discussions with Uddhava and later with the sage Maitreya, delving into the topics of cosmology, creation, and the supreme personality of the Godhead. So here there are very interesting thing that comes between from a material age point of view. Who is elder, Uddhava or Vidura? Can someone answer this?
Vidura.
Vidura is elder, right? So and he basically meets Uddhava, and Uddhava reveals that not so pleasant news about Krishna, what's going to happen and what happened, and what instructions that he had got. So then Uddhava wants to become a disciple. Vidura wanted to become a disciple of Uddhava because he wanted to understand from Uddhava, all that about spiritual knowledge. Because Vidura knows that Uddhava is very, very, very close to Lord Sri Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, there's a huge, big, very big canto where you get Uddhava Gita, where Krishna's and Uddhava conversation comes in layers and layers of chapters. But Uddhava, being younger, see Vidura's thing, he doesn't care about age. He doesn't see that I'm elder, I'm from a royal family, I serve the royal family, I had this many riches, and I know so many VIPs, I know so many big people, I know Pandavas, I know that, I know this. But no, at a point in time came, even though he's elder, he seeks to be a disciple. He wants to listen from Uddhava. So what it means is in our spiritual realm, it is not the material age that matters, but it is the spiritual age that matters, right? Materially, somebody may be very young, but spiritually they may be very, very, elder. So same thing I just wanted to share. When Gaurang Darshan Prabhu was there in our house for almost 13 days, so he's very young to me, 25 years younger to me by age, material age. So he was telling me that no, don't respect me like this. I feel very odd because you are like my father. You are actually elder to my father, or same age of my father. But then I told him that materially I'm elder to you, but spiritually, materially, I'm like your father, but spiritually, I'm like your grandchild. So if you're treating me as your material like father, treat me as your spiritual grandchild. So then our relationship would be okay. So that answer was liked by him. So Vidura took a very, very humble stance with Uddhava. But Uddhava, being Uddhava is a great devotee, he was very conscious about this. And he said, he directed Vidura to Maitreya, who is senior and learned also, pretty learned sage. Even though from a devotional point of view, devotional quotient, devotional score, Uddhava definitely scores higher than Maitreya. That's also mentioned in Prabhupada's purports. But again, he directed, based on the directions of the Lord, the Vidura is gone to Maitreya, and their conversations are very profound. And Parikshit Maharaj knew about it. That's the reason why he wanted to know more about that conversation. And so the first five chapters, that very nice setting the scene happens. That's a preamble. And then, as I told, this whole topic then flows in a very knowledge-based content. Chapter 6 to 12 goes in the process of universal creation. Same topic that was there in second canto also. It expands here, or it continues here, it blossoms here. So in second canto also, in one of the sessions that I came here, we also discussed about Virata Rupa, Vishwarupa, and so on and so forth, right? How everything in the broad context of this universal cosmic creation, everything is so intricately interconnected. Even our daily activities are also, in a way controlled and monitored. And that's a belief that we should have in the whole system. And that's what explains the inexplicable things that are there in this world, right? Causeless cause of all causes. That's how we define God. So, so Maitreya, creation of the universal form, Maitreya explains the manifestation of the universal form, the Virata Rupa, and the subsequent creation of various elements and beings. So this directly, gets connected to Atra Sarga Visarga. This is one of the two topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, through the 10 topics of subject matters of Bhagavatam. And then this topic also brings in another great personality. Yeah, I forgot this name. The appearance of Lord Brahma, the material creator, Srishtikarta, they call it, right? And details of emergence of Brahma and the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu and the role in his further creation. So he's another very big personality, big character comes into if you're remembering this as a ballet, and this is a very, very turnaround scene. And then, of course, 13 to 19 comes on the Varaha incarnation. This is kind of a story. And the appearance of Lord Varaha is described when Earth Bhumi submerged in the ocean, along with the Vedas and other things. Supreme Lord manifests as a gigantic boar, Varaha Avtara, to rescue her. So that whole thing is there. And then the Diti, pregnancy of Diti, desiring a child at an inauspicious time, gives birth to Hiranyaksha, who later challenges the Lord. So the story of Hiranyaksha comes here, and eventually Hiranyaksha is killed, and because of which, in the seventh canto, we see that Hiranyakashipu gets extremely angry. Okay, so danger of not following rules and regulations in our grasa life can lead to somebody, a wrong person coming into our home, and following proper practices before conception, maintaining the harmony at home, uh, will have a greater chance of somebody good coming into your home. And later in this canto itself, there are a lot of details are given on how a child develops in the womb of the mother. Okay, so this chapter 14 has got a connection there, and the description of the kingdom of God, and you get a here good description of Vaikuntha, the spiritual realm, emphasizing the transcendental natures of Lord's abode. So if you want to know uh, how Vaikuntha is there, this is a good chapter to understand. Uh, so the grandness of the Vaikuntha, the greatness of Vaikuntha. People who are, I'm sorry, I'm going to my there's a linguistic affiliance is there. Sorry, Subal Prabhu. This chapter 15, in many ways, is extremely well described in many of Telugu movies of 1950s and early 60s. That's the time when Telugu, it's called the golden period of Telugu movies, where a lot of Puranic based movies came, and they are extremely popular and good movies. So in that, this chapter, the details of this chapter are depicted in some form or other. Beautiful. I mean, in those days, whatever cameras can think of and conceive, they've definitely depicted the Vaikuntha realm. Not definitely as great and as pure and as fertile as Srimad Bhagavatam, but to some extent they tried their best. And then chapter 16, a bit of a dramatic chapter, another six characters come in this scene. Doorkeepers of Vaikunta, Jaya Vijaya, and four Sanat Kumaras. And their interaction comes. how they get offended and they curse, and then all sorts of things will happen. And victory of Hiranyaksha all over the directions of universe. Here, the greatness of the demon is also glorified, how powerful the demons can be. And Hiranyaksha is a very, very powerful demon. And he conquered the universe and causing distress to demigods. Here, the typical incarnation, the typical story of good over evil, evil over good, that kind of a story also comes in this chapter. And then, of course, the beautiful battle between Boar and Hiranyaksha come, and then Varaha incarnation is there, and so much of description about the beauty of that boar incarnation, very interestingly is described. And of course, the Varaha kills the Hiranyaksha. So, so if you see from the incarnation aspect, 13 to 19 is very interesting. Then, then the big thing, another big thing in that scene comes, Kardama Muni and Devahuti. So here, details of marriage, how a perfect marriage should be there, how a good grihastha life should be there, how husband should take care of the wives are there, and what kind of austerities that can be performed. How Kadamuni, after performing several penances, marries Devahuti and gives her what she actually wants to get. And then she's a daughter of Swayambhu Manu, and it's all part of the creation and procreation to expand the world by the engineering principles of Brahma, and that's what he was told to do. And then the birth of Kapila Dev comes, and this is another incarnation that comes in the third canto. Shall I pause here, Prabhu, or should I continue? Are you able to visualize what I'm saying as a ballet, as a drama, or as a movie that's going to come to you in the weeks to come? Anything?
Then just see if anybody has any question.
Yeah, Prabhuji,
Yeah,
Vidura means is the brother of Dhritarashtra and Pandu, right, Prabhuji?
cousin. Yeah,
Yeah,
cousin of them,
cousin of.
cousin
And
of.
who
Yeah.
is Uddhava, Prabhuji?
Uddhava is a very, very important personality in we get it in Bhagavatam or else, whenever it's Uddhava is a cousin of Krishna,
Cousin of Krishna.
and
Okay.
he looks like Krishna, and
Uh-huh.
Krishna likes him a lot. He's a very devotee of Krishna, and he's very knowledgeable. And to the extent that Krishna, when he gets in doubt about something, he used to consult Uddhava.
Okay. Yeah.
So Uddhava has got a very, very important place in Srimad Bhagavatam. In Bhagavatam, when you go to the 11th canto, the details of conversation between Krishna and Gita, Uddhava, are documented as Uddhava Gita. So just like the way Krishna taught philosophy to Arjuna through Bhagavad Gita in 700 shlokas, Krishna taught Uddhava in almost thousands of shlokas, more than 4,000, I think, if I'm not wrong, somewhere around. Forgive me, my figure is wrong. Such a huge, voluminous conversation or topics happen. So Uddhava is an inseparable part of Krishna, and he is also looks like Krishna. And Uddhava is full of knowledge and devotion, and Krishna is always also want him to get more and more knowledge, and that's why Krishna also sends Uddhava to Vrindavan from Dwaraka to let Uddhava know and see what is the level of devotion of Vrajavasis, and particularly the cowherd men and cowherd women of Vrindavan. So Uddhava has got a very interesting uh, conversations with them. He learns a lot, and there's a very famous shloka is there. I'll just tell the meaning. Vande Vrajastrinam Padarenu Abhikshashna. So Uddhava says that, I bow down to the gopis of Vrindavan, you know, that, and I want to take their dust of their lotus feet. So Uddhava is very, very dominant character, but dominant in the sense from a devotion philosophy point of view, but he's not a principal character that comes in the front line in the Mahabharata story. So that's why probably he's not that well known as Vidura. But Vidura, if you see, comes in the front line in before Kurukshetra, during the the whole evolution of Pandava Kaurava, uh, friendship and also the foeship. Vidura plays an important role. So Vidura is a character that is there in the storyline of Mahabharata. Uddhava is in the storyline of Bhagavatam, but he's a back-end character. We may not see him in many scenes in the storyline. It's okay, Prabhu?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. So now the 20 chapters 20 to 24 is where the entry of Kapila Dev comes. And if there is anything, two very important incarnations, right? Varaha and Kapilas in third canto. This is a very detailed topic indeed. The teachings of Lord Kapila. Again, here also very interestingly, mother of Kapila becomes a student of Kapila Dev and wants to seek knowledge from him for her own mukti or for her own liberation. So Kapila Dev taking the position of a teacher to his own mother, teaches. So Srila Prabhupada has written a own book. A book was compiled and published based on the purports of Srimad Bhagavatam and also Srila Prabhupada's lectures on Lord Kapila Dev. These are considered to be very, very significant and profound in many ways. So there's a deep understanding of Sankhya, philosophy, and devotion service. Very analytical study of matter and spirit, emphasizing the importance of devotional service as a means to attain liberation. Even though simply stated in one paragraph, this is quite a big item in Srimad Bhagavatam. Many shlokas are there. It's very interesting. He talks about matter, spirit, and analytical study of this material science, and all those things, and leading to ultimately getting the liberation and nature of the soul and material nature. So the topics that are there in Bhagavad Gita about the soul and the material nature, the Atma, Paramatma, and the Prakriti. Yeah. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, the three topics of Bhagavad Gita, right? And these are double clicked here. Again, but Kapil Dev gives a very long lessons to Mother Devhuti. So the teachings of Kapil Dev to Mother Devhuti are also considered to be very important, and they're pretty detailed. So in the last phases of this, you will find a very interesting matter to be consumed on this topic. Yeah, I'll try to share one. Subha Prabhu, you want to add anything? We'll just recite one very often quoted sloka from Kapila Dev Singh. We can all read it before we go to the.
Prabhu,
Just hold on.
do you want me to share anything?
No, I'll share, Prabhu. No, Savad, I'll చెప్తాను. అది లాస్ట్ చెప్తాను. నేను చదివే కెమెరా. You can also speak. Okay. I'll share, Prabhu, now.
Yes, sir. Nani చెప్పాను.
Yeah.
సదా ప్రసంగాన్ మమ వీర్య సంవిదో భవంతి హృత్కర్ణరసాయనః కథాః తజ్జోషణాదాశ్వపవర్గవత్మని శ్రద్ధారతిర్భక్తిరనుక్రమిష్యతి.
So it's a quite often quoted shloka to tell that what we should do, what helps us to progress in our devotional service. Satam prasangam mama virya sannidho. In the association of pure devotees, discussions of the pastimes and activities of Supreme Personality of the Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. Just the way today as we are contemplating to read the third canto, or as we are embarking and making an affirmation and commitment to read the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we are discussing about two. We briefly touched base on two incarnations, Varaha and Kapila Dev. Yeah. And then he says, by cultivating such knowledge of one, gradually becomes advanced in the path of liberation, and thereafter he is free, and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin. So this is an important. So someone wants to chant the shloka?
Yeah, Prabhu, I'll try. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti hritkarnarasayanah kathaah तज्जोषनादश्वपावर्गवर्त्मनि श्रद्धारतिर्भक्तिरनुक्रमिष्यति. Anyone else wants to chant?
Yeah,
Yes,
anyone want?
yes, Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhu.
Tatam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti ratkarnarashayana kathaah nadashva apavarga vartmani shraddharatir bhaktir anukramishati.
Anyone else?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhu, just come little down, Prabhuji. Show both Sanskrit and English. Yeah. Satam sata prasangan mama virya samvidho bhavanti utkarna rasayana kadaha tajoshnad ashwa pavarga apavarga vartamani shraddha ratir bhaktir अनुक्रमिष्यति.
We are done, Prabhu. Prabhu, you are on mute in case you are speaking.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So, sorry, Prabhuji. Satam means pure devotees. Prasangam means through the association. Mama, my Vidya, wonderful activities. Here he's talking about the Lord. Vidya means discussion. Bhavanti means become. Hrit to the heart. Karna is to hear. Rasayanaha means pleasing. Katha means story, the pastimes. Of that, if you try to hear those pastimes, wonderful pastimes of the Lord, or if you cultivate to hear the pastimes of the Lord, also quickly apavarga liberation, Vatmani on the path, Shraddha comes, then attraction comes, then the devotion comes, which will follow order. So faith, attraction, devotion, or love will automatically follow if we cultivate the habit of remembering the great pastimes of the Lord in the association of the devotees, pure devotees. So this is one important shloka that comes. Chapter was the first. That's my first time. So another shloka. So basically, my wife is here. She's guiding me. I have to introduce my wife. Subha Prabhu, is it okay if I take the liberty to introduce my? It looks odd, but so okay. My wife's
Of
name is
course, Prabhu.
Revati Gopi Devidasi. She's my wife. She's very well read. She is a Bhakti Shastri graduate and also Bhakti Vaibhav graduate. And in the recent past, uh, she had an opportunity to serve third canto by giving many classes on third canto in Telugu forum. So she's telling me that I should do now uh, this shloka also, right? 33.6. So she's well versed with, I mean, kind of she has got more familiarity with Kapila Gita. She's advising me to do this. So this also, yeah, it changes some.
Okay. इन्नामधेय श्रवणानुकीर्तनात् यत्प्रह्वणात् यस्मरणात् अपि क्वचित् स्वादोऽपि सत्यः सवनाय कल्पते कुतः पुनस्ते भगवन् दर्शनात्.
Yeah. Can someone read this, Prabhu? Translation?
Sure, I'll try.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Okay,
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna.
you continue.
Hare Krishna. Translation. To say nothing of the spiritual advancement of persons who see the Supreme Person face to face. Even a person born in a family of dog eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices if he once utters the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or chants about him, hears about his pastimes, offers him obeisances, or even remembers him.
Yeah. To say nothing of the spiritual advancement of a person who sees Supreme Person face to face, even a person born in a family of dog eaters immediately becomes eligible to perform Vedic sacrifices. He once utters the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or chants about him, hears about his pastimes, offers him obeisances, or even remembers him. So this basically underscores the huge importance of devotional service, right? So very, very interesting thing that people who think that they are seeing supreme personality of the Godhead face to face, that is the spiritual advancement. But even but for that, one has to have a lot of qualifications, qualities, and accomplishments and grace of the Lord, right? But through bhakti, even anybody in any situation, can get and becomes eligible to do the Vedic sacrifices if he just utters the holy name of the Lord. Very important message. And another shloka that she is referring is, we'll do one more shloka, and then
Actually, it is difficult. All the shlokas are like gems.
yeah. But we just want your
But hearing, no, you're talking about hearing.
yeah,
So
we'll do
35,
this.
42.
Yeah. So like this in third canto, you'll find very, very useful references. Yeah, can you chant and then we'll read the meaning?
यश्रद्धया श्रुतवतया च भक्त्या संरुज्यमाने हृदयेऽवधाय ज्ञानेन वैराग्यबलेन धीरा व्रजेम तत्ते सरोजपीठम्.
Yeah, can someone read the meaning?
Sure, I'll try. Simply by hearing about your lotus feet with eagerness and devotion, and by meditating upon them within the heart, one at once becomes enlightened with knowledge, and on the strength of detachment, one becomes pacified. We must therefore take shelter of the sanctuary of your lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So this is just a glimpse of today. Thank you. So basically, I just wanted to give that introduction to third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity. Prabhu, how many more minutes we have? I want to go to a different topic.
Prabhu, generally we go up to 11:30, but
Yeah,
you can take your time, Prabhu.
yeah, no. So basically, how do we absorb what we are doing, right? In terms of understanding Srimad Bhagavatam, since we are investing 1.5 hours every week, it's a big thing actually. If you look at it during the weekend, Saturday, we could have done so many things, right? But still, we are sitting here to invest our time. So there are few components of reading Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll just go through it, and one component will double click today. One is Shravanam, hearing, the way we are doing it now. and another is mananam, recollection, and another is a contemplation, and another is recitation that we try to do in a very simple form, and kirtanam, speaking about the Bhagavatam or incarnation. So among that, today we have done Shravanam, we have done Pathanam, we have done Kirtanam. So now we'll do Mananam and contemplation, recollection and contemplation. So how we do recollection and contemplation? So we will now go to for Canto 1 for 15-20 minutes and 5-10 minutes to Canto 2. How do we go? Contemplation and recollection means like try to understand what did we try to learn there, right? So I try to prepare a kind of a quiz, a simple quiz. We'll try to do as many questions as the time permits. Okay. And then I will also send this quiz to Subal Prabhu so that he can post it in the thing. Yeah. So I will not share the screen because I'm going to share, tell you. So any of you can, 1 second, Prabhu, am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu, you are.
Yeah, I'm audible, right? Sorry, I just got it out. So, and I'm not sharing the screen as well, right?
No, it's not.
So let me close all the windows so that I can only have this document up on my thing. Okay. So what is the famous opening verse of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.1? If somebody has by hearted this shloka, kindly read it. Or if somebody has remembers the meaning of the shloka, part or full, you can unmute and tell. You can even, keep, it's an open book test. You can even open the book and also do, but it's a mananam, it's a revision for all of us. Can someone try it?
Prabhu, I can try, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hmm? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadhyasya Yato Anvayad इतरत इतरस्यार्थश्व अभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदाय आदि कवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारी मृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्त्रिसर्गो अभृशा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि.
Okay, thank you. Prabhu, can someone else remember any part of the meaning of this shloka? Anything that strikes them? 1.1.1 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Can anyone try? Did they? This is only a part of our mananam. Nothing. It's not that we have to remember everything, all things, but just help us to do this. Can
Prabhu,
someone try?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Prabhu.
word Janmadhasya, according to me, means discussion on the creation and palan and destroying. Creation, maintenance, and destruction.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Then any other point?
Krishna is conscious of everything, and Krishna is a Swarat or is a total independent entity.
Very good. Very good, Prabhu. And how does this shloka start?
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva.
Yeah. So Sukadev Goswami starts the Srimad Bhagavata invocation, Mangala Shloka, Mangalacharan Shloka, auspicious invocation, with Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. And I meditate upon the Supreme Truth, which is this Sri Krishna. So basically, it's absolute truth is linked to Sri Krishna. Okay. Where did the sages gather to hear Bhagavatam? The Bhagavatam that we know. We know as of today, there is a place where the Suta Goswami goes there and Shaunakadi rishis are performing prolonged yajna. Where is that place?
Namisharan.
Yeah.
Naimisharan.
And where is that in geographical context?
I think somewhere in UP, Prabhu.
Yes, near Lucknow, 2 hours from Lucknow. That place is still existing. Last year, we happened to go there. Naimisharan has got several other great things also. It is supposed to be the center of gravity of Earth and a lot of other things. So that's a place where this thing is there. And even today, there is a Nitya Homa that is happening at that place. It's called Naimisharanya. Lucknow, 2 hours from Lucknow. It's a very beautiful drive. A very simple and humble place. There's also called a Chakratirtha there. the people circumland in a kund there. That's where the Brahma. I think there's a story. People wanted to know the most, right place to get knowledge, and so he sends a chakra, and then it lands there. And then there's a story there, Puranic story. But nevertheless, the place is Naimisharanya. It is still there. So it'll be interesting to keep this in mind that this place is there. So in some of our travels, as we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, it's good to go to this place and see, just to feel that place. Oh my God, this is the place where Sutta Goswami taught Bhagavatam, and that's how I got to know about Bhagavatam. So when we go to the place and see, that further reinforces our belief system in the scripture. And also it's a good thing, to go to these kind of places which are not very popularly well known. It's a very simple, villageish kind of environment there, simple thing, but it's good to go. Good to go and see there. There's a very good small Haveli kind of ashram of Pushtimargis also is there, and uh, very nice thing. A big tree is there. They say that that is the one where Sutta Goswami has sat and did it. And there's a small two or three temples are there. It's very small temples managed by local devotees. But one good thing they respect the ISKCON devotees quite a lot that I could see. Uh, Even though I was in the material dress on that day because I went to Lucknow on an official work, and of course my wife also was there, and we both went. I was in a material dress because I went straight from office to that place. So, but still, when we sat there and was chanting some shlokas of Srimad Bhagavatam, that priest could identify that we are from ISKCON, and we had a nice conversation. So there, I felt that they were very respectful to ISKCON. So in that, because they know that through ISKCON, Srimad Bhagavatam is getting worldwide known, and they have visitors all over the world, from all over the world. Yeah. So kindly keep this in your one of your holiday destinations. Yeah, as you're traversing the thing. Lucknow has also got a very nice ISKCON temple. Actually, two temples, one in the outskirts and another in the city. So that's a very interesting. And Ayodhya is also not very far from Lucknow. Ayodhya is another 3 hours, 2, 3 hours. So if you go to Lucknow, you can go to Ayodhya, you can go to Naimisharanya, both. It's very interesting. Just a thought. Your holiday, one of your holiday destinations could be that. Subal Prabhu, you went to Naimisharanya?
No, Prabhu. In the
Yeah.
Ramayan trip, we somehow could not cover this. That was one of misses, actually.
Ah, okay, fine. No problem. Next time you can plan to go. Who is Suta Goswami and why was he chosen to speak Srimad Bhagavatam? Anyone wants to answer?
Prabhu Sud Goswami was a person who was also in the meeting when Sukdev Goswami was teaching to Parikshit Maharaj.
Good. And then he came to Naimisharanya, right? And he was also very learned personality, and he was a son of Rama Harshana. Yeah, and that's why he was given a very proper place by rishis. Yeah, Sutta Goswami is a super example of a listener, a great listener. Parikshit Maharaj was another one great listener. Sutta Goswami was another great listener. So he listened and taught. This is the Kirtanam, right? After we understand, we try to tell others. And Sutta Goswami did a phenomenal job because of him, because he taught to the Naimisharanya rishis, we are able to read Srimad Bhagavatam as we are reading it today. Super contribution. Yeah. So we should always be grateful to that personality. And what important questions did the sages at Naimisharanya ask Sutta Goswami at the start of Bhagavatam? Can someone tell some of the questions?
Yeah, Prabhu. Those six fundamental questions only they asked over there.
Yeah. Can you tell one or two, Prabhu?
Trying to.
Okay. So my hint is whenever a genuine good combination of good people, you know, good people assemble, what do they think?
They think for the good for the entire mankind.
Correct. So this is the exactly the question, first foundational question they ask. What is the ultimate good or highest benefit to all people? This is one of the very, very foundational questions. But their interest was not them. Their interest was ultimate good of all people. And Krishna has went back to his spiritual about where did the religious principles go? Where have the religious principles taken shelter? And the message, the answer is that they have taken the shelter in Srimad Bhagavatam, and that's why Srimad Bhagavatam is known as the literally incarnation of the Lord Himself. So they say that's why just to get the book Bhagavatam to home itself is a big thing. Reading is another great thing. Understanding is another great thing. And talking about it is another great thing, right? So kindly have a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam in your homes. It's very important. The fact that book is there, somehow or other, it'll engage you in opening that book sometimes, though not every day. Or at least you can say that I have Bhagavatam. That itself is purifying. Yeah. So that is there. And there are other questions also. They also ask about the incarnations of Krishna and so on and so forth. Yeah. According to Sutta Goswami, what is the supreme duty of all humanity? And can anyone do this?
Prabhu, a devotional service to the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. And what is that famous shloka that Sutta Goswami is telling?
Yato bhakti rathokshase savai pumsa paradharmo yato bhakti adokshade.
Yes, correct. Savai pumsam paro dharmo eto bhaktiradokshadai ahetuki apratihata e atma suprasidati. Continuously, we need to do. Okay, what happens automatically when someone engages in sincere devotional service to Krishna? So if we engages devotional service to Krishna, what happens to us?
Purification.
Purification. Any other guesses?
And we'll get rid of this life and birth cycle.
Oh, okay, very good. That is the result of it. Correct. Correct. Yeah. Okay. According to Srimad Bhagavatam in 127 itself, Sutta Goswami tells, if you have developed the devotional thing, we automatically acquire knowledge and detachment from the world. And the same concept is again told in 11th canto also. And just the way when we eat food, now three things happen. First is our hunger is reduced, we get nourishment, and we also enjoy the taste. And all three things happen automatically. We don't have to make any effort. Same way, when we do bhakti, that vairagya automatically comes, knowledge and detachment from the material aspects of the world. Detachment, not disengagement. This is very important. Detachment means that we are there in this material world, but we are not affected too much with the material world. It's not that we are getting away and running to some other place. Okay. And how does regular hearing of Bhagavatam benefit a person?
Knowledge.
How does a regular hearing of Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, right, benefit a person?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, very good.
And we will get purified basically from this all back.
And we get devotion. Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati bhakti. Oh no, nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. What is that? How come I'm forgetting?
Bhakti
Bhagavat.
naishtiki.
Can you read that, bro? Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata.
Praishvabhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati bhakti.
Nice. It is a very important shloka. How come I'm forgetting?
Bhagavati.
1 second, 1 second.
Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki.
Yeah, sorry, Prabhu. Slightly off the touch. Yeah, 1 to 18. I'll project the screen. We'll read that shloka again. Sorry, I forgot the shloka. This is a very important shloka. This is one of those last shlokas that Srila Prabhupada was also talking about before he left this material world. Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevya bhagavati uttama shloke. Okay, transcendental prayers. Bhakti bhavati naistiki. Yeah. So if you read Bhagavatam on a daily basis, bhakti will come and it's an irrevocable fact. Srila Prabhupada uses the word irrevocable fact. So first is detachment from material aspects of the world, knowledge, and resulting into resulting into bhakti. Okay. In Srimad Bhagavatam, a metaphor is used about Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is a season also, something, we are getting into season of mangoes, right? So there is a fruit kind of an analogy that is given about Bhagavatam. Can somebody remember that?
Amalpuram?
It's
It
Yeah.
ripen.
is a ripen fruit of all scriptures.
Yes, correct. And then Canto 1 lists many incarnations of the Lord, right? Many incarnations of the Lord, Varaha, Narsimha, and so on and so forth. Eventually, after telling all those incarnations, it talks about one important aspect that's called Paribhashaka Sloka. Can someone remember that? After telling, it says innumerable incarnations, it lists several incarnations,
It,
25 plus.
it lists Prabhu 24 incarnations, but in
Yeah,
the last he says that there are numerous incarnations which cannot be mentioned, something like that, I think.
yeah, and then it concludes with one thing.
एते चांशकला पुंसः कृष्णस्तु भगवान् स्वयं.
Yes, Indradi Vyakalam Loke Mrudayanti Yoga Ege. So this is ultimate shloka that we have to keep rooted, that should be rooted in our mind when we are talking about Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So when Srila Vyasadev, the compiler of the Vedas, was unsatisfied, Narada met him. And what advice did Narada give him? To remove his unsatisfaction or dissatisfaction or emptiness in his heart.
So Narada said that for all this entire thing, the cause is Krishna, and we you haven't glorified Krishna.
Okay, great. That's very good. Thanks, Prabhu. That's very good. Okay. So, how was the Parikshit Maharaj, who is the center figure of the Srimad Bhagavatam, who wanted to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadev Goswami, would have got killed, right? When he was in his mother's womb. Who wanted to kill him and who protected him?
Ashwatthama wanted to kill him, and
Yeah.
Krishna protected him.
Okay, very good. And who was Queen Kunti in relation to Pandavas and to Krishna?
Queen Kunti is mother of Pandavas.
Okay. To Krishna?
So Krishna is sister.
Sis-
प्रभु बुआ
Yes,
थी उनकी, मतलब
and Prabhuva.
Boa. Okay. Aunt, right? And yeah, does anyone remember any significant points in very famous Kunti's prayers that come in Srimad Bhagavatam first canto?
yes, Prabhu.
18.
The Kunti Maharani says that these difficulties should come to me, our life again and again, so that we can
Oh,
remember you again and again.
very good. Any other contributions? Any other people want? It's a very famous thing, right? In
And
Kunti Maharaj.
she also wanted that she should be, मतलब her relations with the Vishavan, this his, you can say the pair, the fathers and his brothers should also get separate. मतलब he should not, she should be separated from their relations, from which she is having from his mother side, parent side, and as well as in his in-laws.
Okay. And what was the thing that Kunti in the end of the Kunti Stuti, ends her prayer. What her ultimate message that she wants to have?
He said, let my mind flow into you as Ganga flows into the sea.
Yeah, very good. And then, does Bhishma Dev also come in Canto 1? Yes or no? So, how that Bhishma is introduced and what is the significance of Bhishma Dev in Canto 1 and particularly in chapter 9?
Bhishma Dev was about to die, but he was waiting to see Krishna. And that's why the Krishna, along with an entire all Pandavas, go there where the Bhishma Dev was lying and had and told Yudhishthira to have the preachings of Bhishma Dev before he dies.
Yeah, and good. And can someone elaborate on why Krishna gave that a phenomenal opportunity to Bhishma at the end of his life? Because he himself came, he himself he wanted Bhishma to teach Yudhishthira on how to rule the kingdom, economy, politics, social administration, and devotion, and all. Krishna made Bhishma to talk to Yudhishthira. Bhishma gave Vishnu Sahasranam. And Krishna gave beautiful darshan to Bhishma before he leaves, and he let Bhishma invest his mind and thoughts into Krishna. What was one of the main significant reasons that Bhishma was given this great opportunity? Of course, he was a great devotee, he was a great personality, but there were several other great devotees and great personalities also. But Bhishma had got this very unique thing that he got it what he wanted. Any ideas?
So
Prabhu, he has a boon of dying as per his choice.
Correct. Anyone wants to add? Because Bhishma is a very dominant character, right? In Mahabharata serial also. Even though I have seen probably 30 years back or 35 years back, still that character of Bhishma is there in my eyes. The person, I forgot his name, who was portrayed as Bhishma, also has done a great job. Uh, so, any other thoughts?
So Yudhishthir was quite unhappy about killing of so many soldiers and their families getting impacted because of just he wanted to become the emperor. He was thinking so. So he approached Krishna and Krishna gave him answers, but he wasn't satisfied. Purposefully, Krishna arranged that situation and then he took him to Bhishma so that his devotee gets glorified by being able to pacify and answer Yudhishthir's question. And in addition to that, he gets opportunity to speak many more subjects also, and be able to see Krishna before he leaves his body. So multiple things Krishna arranged together.
Very
And
good. Thanks.
Prabhuji, yeah, sorry. Prabhuji, I
Yes,
think
Prabhu.
even see, Bhishma is a great devotee and he knows supreme personality of Godhead is Krishna, but in his entire life he stood for dharma. So maybe I think that's
Dharma.
why
Yeah. It stood for Dharma.
he stood
Yeah.
for dharma.
Okay, fine. So recently in Dubai, we had Gaurang Darshan Prabhu giving many sessions on Bhishma, right? So in one point that he stressed quite a bit is that first is of course Bhishma is a very great devotee, great warrior, tried to uphold dharma to the extent that he could, but uh, but he is also one of those kind of a personalities who was very easily misunderstood because he did not help Draupadi when she needed. He did not really put his foot down when Dhritarashtra was doing so many nonsensical things. He knew Pandavas were going through a lot of difficulties. Still, he waited till the end of Kurukshetra to have that eventuality. Even in Kurukshetra, still, he stood that he took very obstinately. He held on to his vow, and then to the extent that he wanted to kill Pandavas, and to the extent that he also shot arrows at Krishna. So he can easily be misunderstood, and he was misunderstood. So people generally remember Bhishma because of these very scenic and very emotional, mentally attracting things about Bhishma, that he did not do so many things that he could have done it. He was a misunderstood personality. Very few people in the world, even at that time, uh, know how great Bhishma and how great devotee was Bhishma. And for the generations to come also, if Krishna had not done what he has done to Bhishma in the end, Bhishma history, Bhishma's knowledge about Bhishma in the histories of Indian history or Mahabharata would have ended portraying or being Bhishma being understood as a person who's capable of doing good, extremely capable of doing good, but he could not deliver good. So Krishna wanted to alleviate Bhishma of this very probable misunderstanding or mislabeling of him uh, about these aspects, but to glorify Bhishma as a devotee. So, in order to alleviate that misunderstanding in people, by doing so, by being present in Bhishma and Vyasadeva collating the Bhishma prayers in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which may sometimes look out of the context because Bhagavatam is all about Krishna and his pastime, but this is also a very important pastime of Krishna. Krishna's pastime doesn't only appear in 10th canto, they appear in elsewhere also. And by doing so, he basically is enabling us to focus more on Bhishma's devotion, Bhishma's knowledge, Bhishma's guiding force, than what happened circumstantially in the storyline of Mahabharata, where he had to do certain duty as he was scripted to do that duty, which he could not avoid. So that's very important thing that Krishna wants to bring out, and so did Vyasadeva did it. So that's why Bhishma and Bhishma's prayers, to meditate on Bhishma's prayers is very important, so that even if we have a tinge of doubt about Bhishma's wrongdoing, maybe it's wrongdoing in one sense, in one perspective, if you look at it, particularly he not helping, he not coming forward to help Draupadi. That also the Acharyas give another reason to let people know the compassionate thing and how Krishna is accessible through his name. Bhishma foresaw it and he saw that Krishna should get credit of saving Draupadi than him. That's another aspect of it. But so to glorify Bhishma as a devotee and to enable people to remember Bhishma as a great devotee, Krishna has done that. So it's a very important for us to know. Sometimes even our children may ask this, right? Why did he do this? Because from a storyline perspective, what he did is not very good, right? So if I cannot do something, if I don't do it, it's okay. But if I can do something, but I didn't do, that you will get bad, right? If our boss is capable of doing giving us promotion and our performance is also good, but still he doesn't give promotion, means he's not a good boss, no? So in another context, Bhishma was also like that. He could have done anything, but he didn't do. He played to the script, knowing that what's going to happen in the end. Uh, so, so that's a very important thing that we need to remember about Bhishma. And this is one of the key points that I could grasp from Gauranga Darshan Prabhu's classes, because he repeatedly told that, and that's why even though the main topic was Bhishma Stuti, he covered that only 2.5 days. The rest of the days he glorified Bhishma and the situations that came to this thing. So we have few more minutes. So we'll just now launch to the second canto. The whole thing I will send it to Prabhu. These two documents, the summary of the canto and whatever we are discussing, the question, answer, and with the explanation. Each question has got a good explanation also, so that you can refer it, because Mananam is a very important point. Only when we recollect and think, it will get into our head. Otherwise, it will go away. So, what crucial question did Parikshit Maharaj ask Sukadev to begin their conversation in Canto 2? So, by this time, the Parikshit Maharaj did what he did, and he's cursed and is about to die. So, what did
He
he ask?
asked what a person should do when he is dying.
Very good, very good. So he said, considering I have only 7 days to live, what is my duty and what should I concentrate on? What is the proper duty of man who is going to die? And specifically, what should a person hear, chant, remember, worship? Please tell me essence, O Master. So what is the proper duty of man who's going to die? So this question is applicable to all of us, right? We are also going to die. Parikshit Maharaj knew he is going to die after 7 days, but we don't know when we are going to die. So that question of Parikshit Maharaj is not only relevant to him, uh, is relevant to everyone. This is what Bhagavatam is basically telling, that his question is extremely relevant to all. So we need to take the best usage of it. So any comments on this? So Bhagavatam, in that way, second canto goes with it starts with a very profound question. What is somebody has to do when when he knows that he's going to die, right? And okay, in this question, one second, Prabhu. I think I'm lost the. And when it comes to second canto also, second canto also it has a lot of details, as we all know. Uh, we have recently read that also. And another striking thing about the second canto is also uh, the death topic is an underlying topic in second canto. And of course, Shukadev Goswami's answer was very clear. So there is in third canto also we get this Virat Rupa, Vishwarupa discussions. What is the universal form Virat Rupa of the Lord that Shukadeva describes, and why does he introduce it? Why should he introduce the concept of Virat Rupa? Can anyone answer this? Or yes, I think I tried to cover this a bit in the session that I did also.
So is it primarily to ensure that people do not develop atheistic thoughts? People shouldn't
Hmm.
consider nature as God, and
Yeah.
people shouldn't consider a formless version as the supreme.
Yes, Prabhu. So the universal form is a conceptual form of God that encompasses the entire material cosmos of the body. And it's the first step in God realization. As you said, it will help the beginners to start meditating on the Lord, and they gradually develop a sense of God's presence everywhere. Yeah, what you said is right, Prabhu, to start with. Okay. And then a lot of discussions about Virat Rup came, right, in that thing. So what is that form of Lord that resides in the heart of every living being? How is he described in Canto 2?
That is Paramatma form.
Yeah, very good. Fantastic answer. Can I go with three more questions? What does Sukadeva say one should do when one has no material desires, all material desires, or desires for liberation? One who has got no material desires, one has got all desires, and one has got desires for material.
It is basically everyone has to chant Krishna's name, right, Guru?
Yeah, correct. Is there any shloka that reminds you on that?
Yes, Prabhu.
There's a very famous shloka people quote. I will put it in the sharing. Why I'm putting it is it's a okay. Let me 1 second, Prabhu. Let me go to my Zoom. We'll end the class in a few minutes. Yeah. Akama sarvakamo va moksha kama udiradi ivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he be full of material desires, without material desires, or desiring liberation, must all means worship supreme about the personality Godhead. Okay? So, intelligent people, material desire people, without material desire, liberation, everybody has to and can worship God. So, we will move into last two questions. Okay. I'm just skipping some questions because of want of time. So this is a straightforward question. Before answering Parikshit's questions in depth, Shukadev Goswami offered prayers. Whom did he glorify and why?
First, he glorified Shukadev Goswami, then Vyasdev, and through him, then the Parampara and to Krishna also.
No, no. Whom did Shukadev Goswami glorify?
He glorifies his father Vyasdev because he's a father and also guru for him. And next, Brahma, I think.
No, there are two things. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudire.
Birayat.
Guys, uh, let me pay my respects to Narayana, the god of all gods, to Narayana, Rishi, Lord's incarnation in twin sages, the goddess of learning Saraswati, and to Srila Vyasadeva. After this, he focuses praise on Krishna, on whom Brahma, Shiva, and all devatas worship. And that shloka comes in the 12th canto, third chapter, 23rd chapter, I think. Last, first shloka of the last chapter. Uh, so this is the Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahman Varunendra, but that will not cover. So then we'll do. Okay, and then last question. I'm just skipping, sorry. Yeah, what analogy did Brahma use to explain how Supreme Lord creates and withdraws the universe?
He inhales and
Yeah, spider and the web. Okay, so anyway, this has got many questions. I'll send it. Thanks a lot for this introspection. We could not do it full, but you can do it at your homes. This introspection is good. Mananam, Shravanam, hearing, recollection, contemplation, recitation, speaking. These are important aspects as we go through Srimad Bhagavatam. And thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to be with you. We have gone through a high, very high, super high level summary of Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto. And again, once again, congratulations to all of you for completing the reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, first and second cantos, and all the best for your journey into third canto, where you'll find a great people, Vidura, Maitreya, Uddhava, Brahma, Kumaras, uh, Jaya, Vijaya, and so many great personalities. Varaha incarnation, Kapila Dev, Devahuti, Kadamuni, Aditi, Diti. So very good, very interesting places also come into being. Incarnations, main topics, highly philosophical oriented thing. It connects with Parishit Maharaj question that he is eager to know the layers of conversation that happened between Maitreya and Vidura. And then the six questions, mapping of six questions, knowing the creation, sub-creation, secondary creation, primary creation, and 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam on the principles and so on and so forth. So with this, I conclude. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And thanks for including me in this study group. I just wanted Subal Prabhu to brief all of us his interaction with the Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. I think he has talked about this forum. Any inputs that Subal Prabhu want to share in this forum? That would be nice for all of us to know.
Uh, Thanks, Prabhu. Firstly, excellent class, good overview. And the question answer session was good to recollect our lost memories also. Thank you so much. Um, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu interaction with him was very good. He rather than giving basically tips about how to reach out to more people, he was specific to state that um, those people who are actually coming in for the class today, okay, even if they are less in number, it shows that they are more interested, more serious. So we have to focus on them, and increasing the numbers should not be our goal. Those who have the mercy of Krishna will continue to come, and others may take a little time. That was his primary instruction, actually. But yeah, we have to continue reaching out to others as much as possible. But our goal should be to qualitatively focus upon whoever is joining. That was his key message, Prabhu. Prabhu, you are on mute.
Thinking as you are talking about your realization with Gaurang Darshan Prabhu, maybe you can connect with the Jaigovind Prabhu
Huh,
and also at least once in a month, in one first Sunday of the month, they can announce, or Saturday of the month, first Saturday of the month, they can put in their announcement roster to talk about this forum also.
fine,
Just
Prabhu.
to say that the forum is there in English, they can subscribe to if they want to.
Good point, Prabhu. Fine.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Prabhu,
Thank you.
if you don't
Yeah.
mind, Dhanishta has one question. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Hare Krishna. I'll try my best, bro. I'll try my best. Yes, bro.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. It was wonderful session, and I was like loving the question and session so much, Prabhu. Prabhu, it was actually a question was actually coming in my mind for so many days. When Krishna came onto this earth, and when Devki Mata and Vasudev saw him, he was in a 400 form first when he came. And if you see when Uddhava is also speaking with Krishna, at that time, Krishna is in 400 form because Uddhava is describing, he describes a 400 form of Krishna. So that I was like, while coming and going, he is in a 400 form. Is it any specific reason which comes over here, which we should know?
Uh, I I'll try to answer to the best of my knowledge, Mataji. Not be complaint. So basically, for the first part, to Devaki and Vasudev, Krishna wanted to show who is he, because at that point in time, they were knowing Vishnu, right? They were praying for Vishnu, and Vishnu was being worshipped. And Krishna, as also, if you see the description of Srimad Bhagavatam, he's coming as an avatar. Even though he's a Paripurna avatar, he himself coming into the avatar, but he's following the same protocol of other incarnations as well. That through Vishnu only all the avatars come, right, in the creation hierarchy, in the creation design. So Krishna doesn't want to violate that. So that's why he came as 400 form, and displayed that 400 form so that his parents know who he is, because so that is established. And then based on the request of the Devaki, this is a form is very alaukika. She uses a word very alaukika. It's not common form. So you come back to your original form. Krishna accedes to the request and comes to this 200 form to perform his pastime. That's the first part. So he came. So the important point is he came to prove that, to make a very point very clear to the parent that who is he. And that's why when the last instruction or the first instruction that he gives to Devaki and Vasudev, before asking Vasudev to take him to Mathura, from taking away from Mathura, he says, don't forget who I am, but have a very friendly and loving relationship with me and others, and follow your life. That's what he says. So that's one point number one. With Uddhava also, at the time when he's leaving, the ending his incarnation, he ends with the same way he has come. And that's why there is a description in the Uddhava Gita also, that you are going to Vaikuntha Loka. not Goloka. Because he has come, even though he's a resident of Goloka, he came through the channels of Vaikuntha Loka only. Because all incarnations are supposed to be coming only from Vishnu. So that's why in our scriptures also sometimes some people say that, Krishna is the avatar of Vishnu, which is in a way technically right. But for a serious reader of Srimad Bhagavatam, we know that even though he came as a avatar of Vishnu, but that avatar is a actual original personality of the Godhead. So that's why he wanted to make it very clear to Uddhava also, the way he came, the way he has gone, so that he doesn't break the protocol of of kind of putting Vishnu in a secondary thing, because Krishna and Vishnu ultimately they are the same level, right? So he doesn't want to keep Vishnu at a lower level and he himself at a top level, nothing like that. So he came from Vishnu and he's going as Vishnu. He came as Vishnu avatar and is going as Vishnu avatar, but that avatar is very, very special. That he himself has decided to come, whereas in other avatars, every avatar has come for their own objective. But here Krishna has come to do a lot of other things in this thing. Yeah, I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, because this is a very common question people ask. Is Krishna an avatar of Vishnu, as it is described in many poems, movies, songs, other acharyas? Yes, factually it is correct, but there is something more to that fact. That even though he's an avatar of Vishnu, he's still the supreme personality of the Godhead who has decided to come in the avatar of Vishnu. It is like that in some of the movies. Sometimes the producer or director himself takes a role, right? Other actors are casted. They're given a cast. They've been selected to play the role. But sometimes director himself decides that I will play this role. So, but then he's still an actor. His name comes as actor. This person has acted, but he is the director also. So, but if you just come to know that only that he's an actor, but if he doesn't know that he is the director and the producer, that's the short of knowledge. And that shortfall of knowledge is fulfilled when we read Srimad Bhagavatam. The people who remain at this short knowledge are those people who do not read Srimad Bhagavatam. There's a big difference between people who read Bhagavatam, people who don't read Bhagavatam.
Yes, Prabhu.
And having got this human life, to be connected with ISKCON and with Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, because there is no Acharya who is living or who has lived on this planet of Earth in the last at least 300 to 400 years has ever written word by word meaning, every sloka translation and purport of Srimad Bhagavatam. Never. So we are grateful we are in that generation and in that situation where we could hold and catch Bhagavatam to read Bhagavatam. So we should not leave this opportunity to know who is Krishna is. Otherwise, if we miss this opportunity, we are gone.
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Many thanks, Prabhu. I'm deeply indebted to you. Excellent class, wonderful explanation. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any question, or we can wrap up today's session then? Doesn't look like. So we'll chant the Vaishnava Pranam mantra. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
Kripa Sindhubi
Anam
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo.
Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha.
Ananda
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Srimad
Thank
Bhagavatam. Srimad
Ki
Prabhupada.
Jai.
you. So, Subal Prabhu, I'll send these notes to you. You can distribute.
Sure, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the wonderful class.